Hi, Guitar Man Chilling here again. We're going to go on with lesson number 8 today. Now, last lesson we were working on the 1-4-5 progression, and we stepped up to the A scale. Okay, so we were working around the A scale, so you understood that in your 1-4-5 progression, there's an A for this root note A, the D, and the E. 1, 4, 5 of the scale. Okay. Now, so let's stick with A because you're used to it. We've been working with it, and let's go on with a new type of beat. Let's go on and learn a gallop beat. I know the beginners probably don't know it, and so some of the more experienced guys probably do. I'm sure they do, but it's a really popular beat. It's been used for a long, long time, and will probably be used a long time to come. So anyway, but it goes like this. Now, along with learning this gallop beat, we're going to learn, by the way, control of the sound of your guitar. Now, I don't know how many people out there have started to use high-powered amps because it doesn't cost much to get a high-powered amp these days. And you'll find that the bass strings will especially get out of control on you. They also won't sound in control. It won't sound like you're in control of your guitar. Now, the way you do that, the way you keep them from sounding off on you and rolling out with horrendous sounds and feedback and whatnot, is you take the palm of your hand here, the meat of your hand here, your picking hand, and you run it up right above your bridge saddles, okay? So you want to control the strings right just in front of the bridge saddles with your palm. And so it'll turn the sound from into it's a muffle, okay? And that controls the feedback, controls your bass from getting out of, outlandish on you, from just overtaking the sound. And so you're just muffling it. Instead of it being just, it muffles it, okay? So it's a common thing to do. Most people know how to control it because when you're playing out live on a stage with a loud amp, you have to learn how to control it, and that's commonly how it's done. So, at any rate, the Les Pauls, by the way, the arch top guitars, they're really nice to be able, because they've already got an arch top, and your arm is sitting back a little bit. It's sitting backward a little bit because of the arch on the guitar. So your hand kind of normally sits in that position. The flat top guitars like the Tellys, you got to work a little harder to do it. But when you're standing up, it gets easier also. At any rate, so back to the galloping beat. The gallop beat goes down, down, up, 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 down. Okay. Down, down, up, 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 down, down. Okay. So work on that. Practice that just on one chord if you need to for a while, and then use it in your progression. Okay, now we're going to go on to D, A, E, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, on D chord, D as in dog chord, A. Okay, so at any rate, some of the, remember Nugent and Journey to the Center of the Mind years ago, one of the songs that really launched him into rock star, right? Was Journey to the Center of the Mind. At any rate, you might remember that song. You might not. Depends on whether you were into early Nugent or not. But many bands have used it since then. It's all over the place. You just look for it. And but at any rate, so. Just start out slow with it. A, D, A. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. D, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, back to A. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. E, down, down, up, down, down, up. D, down, play around with it as you get going. The main thing is to practice the gallop beat, practice controlling your bass strings, and getting it that little muffle, because you're going to need it when you get onto a loud amplifier. And so at any rate, work on that. Now, by the way, let's take a break from this rhythm stuff. You know, you can always come back to the lesson and work on it as you need to, but I want to make sure we get a few different things going so you're not just stuck on one thing per lesson. So let's go back to, remember our open C chord that we learned a while back? Okay, so remember the C chord, and you know, first finger, second string, first fret, second finger, fourth string, second fret, third finger, third fret, fifth string, open E, and you don't play the open E, even though it's E, the sixth string is E, and it's in the chord, nobody plays it, it just sounds like hell. So at any rate, you just muffle that. The easiest way to muffle it is either with your thumb, bringing your thumb over, just commonly don't play it, which is a little tough to do sometimes, or muffle it with the top of your third finger. When you're laying your third finger down on the fifth string, just use the meat of your finger right there to muffle it. But that's a C chord, okay. Now now I've already talked to that in a prior lesson. Let's get on with the C7th, okay? This is a cool chord and I'm going to show you why. C7th, you're going to play your C chord and you're simply going to add your fourth finger on the third string, third fret. Okay? Now, when you do that to the C chord, remember the C? C7. Has a little twang to it. So anyway, the C7. Now what's neat about this? Well, when you muffle your first string with the meat of your first finger here, okay, it's easy to do because you want to do even, you're doing it when you don't want to do it. It's easy to do. Muffle it out. Then muffle the sixth string. Now you got a chord, just like a bar chord, if you will, that you can bring right up the frets, okay? Right up the neck. So this, the third fret, fifth string, is the root note of the chord. It's a C right there. This is a C7. That's the root note, okay? Now, remember our fretboard chart that shows you all the notes on the fretboard. If you learned your fifth string, you know it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And then, of course, you have to add the sharps and flats in there, you know. So, and we already learned that. So, at any rate, there's the C7th chord. You got to mute the first, mute the sixth so they don't sound out. Now you got C7th, C sharp 7th, D 7th, D sharp 7th, E 7th, because there's the root note. That is an E note. It's on the fifth string, 7th fret. E 7th, F 7th, because that is an F note. That's the root note. F sharp 7th, G 7th, G sharp 7th, and A 7th. There's the root note, A. Okay, so in the now remember, we already learned that there's an A, there's an A 7th right there. There's also an A 7th when we add our fourth finger on the 8th fret, second string. Okay? And so if we're playing our, now we know another 7th. Now we know our D, our second form bar chord is a D right there. We learned that's a D7th. A little, you know, change around to the second form bar chord. We got a D as a dog 7th. Okay? Now here's another 7th. Remember the C7th we just learned? Move it up to the D note. There's another D7th. Now listen, they got a different sound though. They sound a little different. D7th, D7, same chord. So you got to search around with your chords to see what sounds the best and where. So if we wanted to use that in our little progression, we go. To be honest with you, playing that progression, I believe this one fits in a little bit better. Remember our second form D chord, bar chord, and playing the D, that's 7th. Let's try that. Remember that's our second form bar chord, playing the 7th, D7. Okay. D7th as in dog. Now, let's move on. Now, don't forget to work on that C7th chord. It's a valuable chord. Remember, we just learned 12 7th chords. Different, you know, different forms than we learned before. okay? Because if you go from C, you know, all the way up the neck, you've learned 12 chords, and then you'll start all over again. You'll be back at C. So, at any rate, C7, very valuable. Don't forget to mute the first string and the sixth string if you want to carry it on up the neck. Okay? So, let's move on with, we've touched on that. Now, back to our progression. Let's get back to it. The, if you're playing the progression, A, I know you heard me play it in the last lesson, but I didn't explain it. Now, when you do this to there, what are you doing? You're adding your what you're doing is you're adding the sixth of the scaling. Now, it's probably not that important to you, but for your technical minds, I just want to move on with the little bit of theory. So, A, you're adding the sixth of the scale, of the A scale, and then the flat seventh of the A scale. Back to the sixth. And remember now, if you want to play this, if you want to try and do this riff and work on it, it's another piece of the puzzle. Go. Now that's quite a stretch, right? So you don't have to hang on to the chord. Remember the interval lesson? That 2 notes is an interval, 3 notes or more is a chord. Well, we're gonna play. Let's play intervals here. Let's go A. So we're gonna go from the A chord. Then we're just gonna worry about playing the sixth, the sixth string and the fifth string, okay? And so we're right like that. And so you've got your first finger on the 5th fret, 6th string. You've got your 4th finger on the 9th fret, 5th string. Okay, and then to go up and grab the next note, you're going to have still your first finger on the 5th fret, 6th string. You're going to have your 4th finger on the 10th fret, 5th string. Okay, and then you're going to go back to the 9th fret. Okay, so, and what are you doing in between there? You're going muffling, muffling. Now we go into the second form bar chord. Back to the D, okay? Now it's a stretch for you, but get it in there. Stretch that 4th finger way over there. And then back to the... Got it? And you just go up to them, and then you're going up to your E chord. Give it a little twist to go. And try out your new E7th chord. Right? So C, remember your C7th, E7th, E7th, there's your root note. So go from your E. Got it? Okay, that'll be a cool thing to work on. Let's see what kind of time we got going here. All right, so let me see. Next. Why don't we go on back to the 9th chord, okay, which I told you we were going to get to. So, how do you play the 9th? The 9th is another bar chord, basically. You're barring, in this case, you're going to bar... let's start, and by the way, let's start down here, about as far down as you can go. Let's start with the B 9th, okay? This is the root note. It'll be the 5th string, 2nd fret, 2nd finger. Okay? It'll be let's start at the top, it's easier. Bar the first 3 strings on the 2nd fret with your 3rd finger. 3rd finger, first 3 strings, bar them on the 2nd fret. Add your first finger on the 4th string, 1st fret. First finger, 4th string, 1st fret. Add your 2nd finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret. Make sure they all ring out. Keep practicing until they do, okay? Now, when you get them ringing out there, it's going to take a little bit. Just keep working with it, and then take your fingers off and put them back together. That's how chords are, that's how you get good with them. Take it off, play a C chord. Play your, even though they don't go together, practice on your C7th or your D, and then go back to your grab your B ninth. Okay, so at any rate, work on it until it's clear. Bar all three strings, first, second, third, with your third finger. First finger on the fourth string, first fret. Second finger on the fifth string, second fret. Just muffle the sixth string out. Okay. B ninth, there's the root note. That is a B note. Now there's a C note, so guess what? Just move the chord right up to there. As long as you're on that C bass note right there on the fifth string, C ninth, C sharp ninth. Remember the notes on your fifth string. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, back to A again. A. Octave apart. So B ninth, C ninth, C sharp ninth, B ninth, D sharp ninth, or E flat ninth, right? E ninth, there's E, E flat ninth. E, F, there's the F note, F ninth, F sharp ninth, there's the F sharp. G ninth, G sharp, back to A ninth, and then A sharp ninth, B ninth, B ninth, B ninth, octave apart. Okay, so great chord again, another bar chord, cool bar chord. So work on that, get it clear. Keep playing it until you get it clear. Go from one chord to the next. Do an exercise with your ninths if you want. You know, jump up 5 or 6 frets apart. Play around with it and get good with it. Okay, so your ninth chord. Now, when you're playing in your, let's go back to your A progression, okay? See what we did? Instead of just going down to a D ninth, remember a 1, 4, 5, A, D, E are the chords. We could go from A, D ninth, or you can go D sharp ninth, D ninth, G, G sharp, A, first form bar chord. Remember, we're adding our 6, our flat 7th, back to the 6. Now we're doing instead of just playing a D ninth, we're going D flat ninth to D ninth. G sharp A. Okay, we can go F, E ninth, D ninth, D flat ninth, D ninth. And by the way, let's not make it too difficult. Just to start out your blues, you don't have to add the sharps and flats in there. Just a simple So, there's a little blues progression. We can go a lot further than that with it. But that's a good place to start, and it's a good place to end this lesson because we've gone on pretty far by now. So, anyway, let's go ahead and cut it off. Good luck on this lesson. Work on your galloping, your beats. Work on everything I showed you in here. Your C7th and running it up the neck. Getting it down. Knowing all your C7th, all your 7th chords at different positions. C7th, D7th, E7th. So, at any rate, and go on and work on your progressions and get your galloping pick going. And we'll see you next lesson. Thanks.